Welcome to another edition of Douglas on My Mind show, and as we have another great special guest, and this very exciting young lady that has came to our community from all the way from Texas, believe it or not, and she's Mrs. Judy Artists. She is the Chief Executive Officer of a Boys and Girls Club here in Douglas, Coffee County, and we're glad to have her. So we're going to be right back with Mrs. Artists and more on Douglas on My Mind after these messages. We're back with more Douglas on My Mind, and this is the great month of March, and have with us today Mrs. Judy Artists. She is our guest today on the show, and she is the new Chief Executive Officer of the Boys and Girls Club. So thank you for being on the show, Ms. Artist.
Thank you for having me.
All right, and I'm gonna beat up your name several times. And I told her, I said, we just having a conversation. It's just like we old friends. And I told her offline, I said we need to talk about Jamaica back, from my experience there, vacation, and had a great time down there. I think that's where you're originally from. Am I correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay, all right. Well, tell us a little bit about Judy Artists, because I think the whole county wants to know. They saw a little bit of your information the other day on the Mayor Commission meeting. I think that was last week, 2 weeks ago, excuse me. And so you didn't give a whole full perspective of who you are, what your background is, and where you have journeyed from, shall we speak, in regards to that. So tell us a little bit about yourself and everything of that nature.
Well, thank you for having me. I just relocated here about 30 days ago today from Arlington, Texas, where I was the Vice President of Operations for the Boys and Girls Club of Arlington. Mm-hmm. I've been with the Boys and Girls Club movement a total of 22 years, in which 11 of them were full-time in many leadership capacities.
Okay, right, great. So now give us a little bit of background on your education and your experience. I think you said your previous was Vice President at Arlington, which is outside of Dallas, Texas area.
You are correct.
I know, yeah. Well, the reason why I know that's where the stadium at. I'm a football fanatic, so it is what it is. But so tell us a little bit about your education, your experience with Boys and Girls Club, and what has led you here to Douglas in relationship to that. As my assistant manager always says, what has been the journey of artists, Miss Judy Artists?
Okay. I recently did relocate here from Arlington, Texas. Mm-hmm. Prior to that, I have worked at several different Boys and Girls Club of Metropolitan Baltimore. Prior to that, Boys and Girls Club of York County in South Carolina. Okay. Boys and Girls Club in Broward County in Fort Lauderdale, Florida. Wow. And the birthplace of the movement, the Boys and Girls Club in Hartford, Connecticut.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Through there, I have received an associate's degree in education. Mm-hmm. I have a bachelor's degree in business administration, and I'm currently enrolled in school to receive my master's degree in organization psychology.
Okay, all right, well, good deal. Well, it sounds like you have a wealth of knowledge from different sources in regards to different clubs, and some larger, some smaller to some degree. And your last port of call was in Arlington and Texas. And how big was that Boys and Girls Club, if I may ask? I think y'all had several campuses there.
Oh, so. Absolutely. Yeah. The Boys and Girls Club in Arlington, Texas had 18 locations.
Wow.
5 sites that Boys and Girls Club own directly, along with 13 schoolhouse sites that served on an average day probably about 1,500 students throughout the city of Arlington. So we're really excited. That Boys and Girls Club have been around for a little over 55 years.
Wow.
They're just celebrating their anniversary, and I hope that we can say the same thing 55 years from now here in Douglas.
Amen. Well, definitely this is a dream brought out of a community in relationship to, matter of fact, I don't know if you've been told the story, but we have what you might call a BEST retreat, which is building economic strengths together. And Joanne's going to be very pleased that I can remember that acronym. Joanne Lewis, if you hear me out there, I'm shouting out to you. But anyway, it came out of that discussion. Community leaders and business leaders and things of that nature came together. We go, and matter of fact, we're having another one of those BEST retreats here in the next month or two. I think it's going to be in May, where we go and we sit down and think about what things that we need to have in our community, what vision, things, goals that we need to facilitate. So there was a great discussion at that BEST retreat about either a Boys and Girls Club or a YMCA. Well, there was a small, I guess, subcommittee that was developed after that BEST retreat, and they determined that would be in the best measure to look at a Boys and Girls Club, because there was probably some more depth in relationship to education and after school, and also some of the aspects of a religious tie-in to some degree. So that's kind of how it kind of got formulated, and Barry Blooms was the kind of the chairperson that led that charge. And I remember we having multiple meetings, Lord have mercy, trying to formulate this thing and getting the national group involved and helping us, lead us, shepherd us on the way. We were a great deal of opportunity from the Boys and Girls Club out of Wayne County, because they really helped us since they had one there. So it was a great opportunity to be involved at the ground level, to see it where it is today. I think you serve about 100 or so kids over there. Is that correct?
Currently, we serve about we have about 110 kids enrolled, with the average daily attendance about 70. But here, beginning March 16th, we're looking to expand the program, where we open the doors for about another 100 children through the local elementary schools and the middle schools. I think that best practice group that you just mentioned, what a group that has vision. Not only did it create a hub for youth development and after school programming. As we know, the statistics tell us that, for teenage crime, it happens between the hours 3 and 7 p.m. Our obesity rate and the rate of pregnancy here in the county is really alarming. So we know, we're confident that the things and the programs that we have in place will address some of those issues. But importantly also, and tell Joanne I said hi also, that we have now currently employed about 15 people, and we're looking to hire probably another 10 people through our summer camp program.
Great. So since you've been here 30 days, I know you got a lot of insight, hopefully, from the previous experience that you had. But now that you've been here 30 days, what are some ideas that you think that you're going to look to do, and what are some things that you're going to investigate or look into that might be helpful to grow the Boys and Girls Club here?
Well, the Boys and Girls Club of Coffee County region, we can't do it by ourselves. We have a fantastic board of directors led by Michael Lott, who is our board chairman, who's doing a fantastic job. But we're just one body. We need business partners, faith-based organizations, and other community businesses involved in seeing this in the long term. So this is sustained over years and generations to come. Right now, our goal is to just continue to market ourselves. Let parents and the community know that we're here at low or no cost for our families, for the most part, and let them know that we plan to be the premier youth development service organization in the county, and hopefully one day in the state or even in the country.
Great. So obviously some of the things that y'all are to engage in right now, is trying to foster this situation of helping families deal with that critical time frame, which is 3 to 7. And I hate to say it, you already alluded to it. One of our not our shining stars, but one of our challenges is that we are per capita probably the highest incidence of teenage pregnancies in the state of Georgia. So this initiative, what you're doing with the Boys and Girls Club, hopefully helps some of that and reduce some of those numbers, because we definitely don't need to have that as our flagship banner, having one of the highest incidents of teenage pregnancies in the state of Georgia. So absolutely.
Boys and Girls Club, our programs will focus in what we call three priority outcome areas. One of them is academic success, the other one is healthy lifestyles, and the other one is character and leadership. And through our healthy lifestyle programs, we're going to really talk to the children about abstaining, as well as give them resources on just being healthier in terms of brushing your teeth for our younger kids, or just dealing with anger management or conflict resolution for our middle schoolers or some of our younger adults that may come to the program.
Right. So, one of the things that I often see, kids today are challenged with a lot of emotional, a lot of physical, a lot of, a lot of variety of things, and having another support system to help them weave through this life that we are challenged with each and every day is very, very helpful. And sometimes, when I was coming up, I'm probably telling my age, one income could sustain a family. But now it's taking everybody's income, the husband and wife. In some instances, you have single family households that really don't have any other sense of means to help out with that. So kids are really challenged with a lot of different things today, and with everything being as fast and moving and challenging as far as everything is, it is very difficult for them to try to meet all these expectations in every day. So I'm glad that y'all are here. I'm glad that y'all are looking to expand some of the enrollment. That's going to help. We have quite a bit of kids in our community. Coffee County is around about 43,000 as far as population. I don't know if you were aware of this, but we are probably the second largest county in this region, the South Georgia region. Lowndes County is the largest populated. It's probably about 70,000 to 80,000, if not a little bit larger. So we're very blessed in one way, but we're challenged in another way, because obviously we do have a great sense of community here, but we do have quite a bit of people that we have to try to help manage in some shape or capacity, and then our kids are one of the challenging ones that we are dealing with. Now, you had alluded to this, and one of the things that the board members are doing to try to help out is looking at different needs that the club will have. And I think we're going to affectionately call it the club, because I noticed that we keep calling that in the board meetings and other things that I hear. So I guess that's what they call it in other areas, the club, right?
Well, the club is actually significant when we refer to our team members, because we found that a lot of teenagers don't want to call it, they're going to the Boys and Girls Club, because it sounds like a place for younger children. So the club actually is the teen logo or the teen name for how we serve teens 13 through 18. But we can call it the club.
I got that. Okay. I'm glad I got a clarification on it. So the club, the Boys and Girls Club, rather, is definitely there, and the board members are doing all that they can. But there's great needs that's going to have to take place to help us meet the goals and expectation that you're trying to set forth. So what are some of those needs and things that we as a community can get behind, either volunteerism or whatever aspect, financial or whatever that might be of some value? So talk to us a little bit about that.
Well, when you offer a program at low or no cost, there's always going to be some financial challenges in raising money to keep the doors open, as well as to pay the staff to work with the children. So I would say our first need is for everyone to come out and support the Dancing with the Stars, which the proceeds benefit the Boys and Girls Club. I believe the date is tentatively set for April 24th, so we hope to see everyone there, and support the great dancers that will be performing there. In addition to financial support, we always ask people for time, talent, or treasures. Time, we definitely can use volunteers. We have several students that are struggling academically, definitely could use some one-on-one tutoring.